And we'll just go right there to start. Hi everyone. Thank you, and thank you to the SE Competes team for the chance to speak to all of you. I'm in a bit of a unique position from all of you. I am part of the regulatory agency at SEDES. And for me, looking at applied AI is coming through the lens of water and wastewater operations. And what I've seen in my experience operating systems, seeing the small communities that used to be our industrial towns in South Carolina, all across the state, from the Pee region down to Beaufort, Jasper, all the way up here in Star Island area. Our small towns are starting to really fall apart. And it's not just the physical infrastructure at this point. Right now there is a gap widening between the haves and the have-nots in the industry. The haves are the large municipalities. Your Columbias, Charlestons, Greenvilles, Spartanburgs, Andersons, anyone who has spent the last 30 years properly operating a system, getting some community investments, putting the money back into upgrade their capabilities and get new technology. The benefit that the biggest systems have across the state is that they have an automated operation. For them to treat water for you and your kids to drink happens automatically based on sensors that are monitoring real time and pumps that react to the sensor conditions. It is the closest thing to automated operation that really we have. The flip side of that is that the smallest towns have not been doing that. They've been losing their population, losing their income. They've lost their licensed operators to the larger communities. And any funding that they do get is going to fix problems rather than be proactive and start to innovate and integrate new technology. So you've got this foundational gap and separation that's occurring in South Carolina and the nation across the world. What's worse is that, like the video said, we're running out of operators. Operating a water and wastewater system is almost like being an ER physician. You are dealing with earth science on a day-to-day basis. You are a chemist, an engineer, a manual laborer, literally out there. I've been shoveling hydrants out of snow in the middle of winter. And you're also someone who is responsible for the entire community's health and well-being. And you get paid pennies and you get nothing in return. Those operators that have been holding up in the backbone of our small towns are starting to retire. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that by 2030, 50% of all licensed operator positions in the nation are going to be vacant. More fun, South Carolina is going to be at 70% by 2030, according to the South Carolina Rural Water Association. Why is it happening? You have an older demographic that has been running the systems. Average age of a drinking water operator is 51. Average age of a wastewater operator is 57. And there's nobody coming in. And so now you have a twofold issue. The haves have not only the technology and the capability and the automation, they also have the staff. Because anybody in a small system who is worth their salt and is a capable operator is going to go to the big city to get a raise and better opportunity. How's that matter in manufacturing? Your big cities are running out of water. Truly. You're running out of space and you're running out of water. And there's only so much capacity that the metropolis has to support any type of major investment. What you're missing out on is that these small communities that used to be our industrial base in the state have wonderful infrastructure, but they don't have technology and they don't have staff to be doing it the right way. If we want to be competitive in this state, we can keep going like we're going. Keep building right outside of Columbia's, right outside of Charleston. Monk's Corner is a nice spot. Trust me, I live there. But until we start to unlock the untapped potential in the rural communities, we will not reach prosperity. We might get progress, but we will not get prosperity. That is what the thesis behind Aquaspec is that if we can bridge the gap between the haves and have-nots using technology, then we can shortcut the investment to get these smaller systems up to speed. We can shortcut the time it takes new people to operate the system efficiently and safely. And we have the opportunity to unlock all of the water-rich resources and capacity in the state that it has to offer. We get 50 inches of rain. Rick, when it comes to building chip plants, what's the #1 input? Water. 750 million gallons a day. Taiwan to get a chip plant going. How about a data center? What do you need? Water, power. You need water. You want to manufacture anything, you want to eat anything, you have to have water. And as we run out in the metropolis, we have to start to expand our reach and help the small systems. I know we're running out of time, but what Aquaspec is a shortcut and a way for the small guys to compete. Because rather than automating and investing capital money into the system, you can use prediction, machine learning, and large language models to give the same level of support to the small guys you can the big one. And with that, you instantly unlock millions upon millions of gallons of infrastructure and hundreds of thousands of acres of property available for development and reindustrialization here. Real quick, what you see is live data from New Ellenton, South Carolina. Yesterday they did 1 million gallons, today they're gonna be less. For an operator who doesn't know what to expect or doesn't have automation to adjust, this matters and will fundamentally change the way they operate. We are switching the paradigm. You can know how safe your water is, keep going down for me. How safe your water is, lead and copper, is a huge problem that causes massive developmental delays in children. If you can control your pH properly, you can help mitigate the lead and copper that gets into your water, keep going down. And when it comes to your chlorine residual, that is the thing that keeps bacteria out of your water. It keeps you from having to boil your water before you use it. If your operators who don't have the capabilities today had the ability to see into the future, then we can prevent a crisis. Last thing, if you could go to the chat, please. And it's not just machine learning here that matters. There's large language models integrated in the same way that Data Mentor takes your system's profiles and your operating procedures. And if you need to know how to go do something at a site because you're new, it will walk you through it so that the environment, the community, and the water quality are all protected in a consistent, auditable way, rather than sending somebody out there at 2 a.m. with a flashlight and saying, hey, can you go figure it out? Finally, this chat feature not only has the LLM query capability, it does have the same data analytics, just real quick, the water log comparison. And here you can actually look at your data and compare. Hey, is something off? It feels like this today is different than last year. Maybe I should do something different, but how should I do it? Well, I can ask my mentor, right? We are changing the way that water is going to be treated and bringing a new technology to a sector that has been completely left behind. If we start it here, we can unlock our potential in manufacturing and industry. We can keep our communities safe. We can expand it, like South Carolina does, outward to the rest of the country. We can show that all of our communities can be safe, that we can reindustrialize truly. And then we can take this to the rest of the world, where we have an opportunity to change the fact that a child under the age of 5 dies every 86 seconds due to a water-related illness. And if we could just give them a hand, who knows how good it could be when the common good is looked after. Thank you.